Hey everyone, Coach Kelsa here, the founder and financial coach behind Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. Say that 5 times fast. We are on a mission to take the stress out of money, as you know, and today I want to talk with you about balance transfers. Specifically, when you are in debt, the idea, this one suggestion, one tool or strategy that you can use is to transfer that debt to 0% credit card offers. You may have heard of this before. There are definitely a number of financial experts out there who will tell you absolutely do not do it. There are a number of financial coaches who will say that they never recommend this suggestion to a client ever. And I want to talk about it, but first, before I dive into the pros and cons so that you can figure out if it's a good strategy for you, I want to tell you why I disagree with the idea that we never recommend this to a client. As a financial coach, it is not my job to tell you that you should always do it one way or never do it another way. If I were in debt and I decided not to use this as a strategy, it is not my job to say that the way I did it will also work for you. My job as a financial coach is to present you with a number of different strategies, talk with you about the pros and cons for each one, and overall, educate and empower you to make the decision that you feel most excited about and most proud of, so that you feel really confident that you made the right choice for you, okay? Regardless of whether it's the best choice for another one of our clients or not, our job is to guide you through these decision-making processes so that later down the road, if anything ever comes up again, you know exactly how to make the decision and you feel really educated by it. So the purpose of this video is to walk you through the pros and cons, some of the challenges you'll want to try and avoid when it comes to transferring your debt to 0% offers. So first of all, let's talk about some of the cons. When you have debt and you are paying interest on that debt, oftentimes that interest is a really big motivator. We don't like seeing it. We don't like paying the interest. The pain of doing so, wasting money on interest, can really light a fire under people. And it's that fire that keeps you motivated towards getting out of debt. And if you move your debt to something that's 0%, if you're not careful and if you're not motivated for the right reasons or for a bigger purpose, then it could remove your motivation and then it takes you longer to actually get out of debt, not faster. One of the pros is that you will pay less interest, right? So if you follow along a debt payoff schedule and you transfer it to a debt with 0% interest compared to whatever you're paying now, then you will pay less in interest, you'll get out of debt faster, and that's a pro, right? Notice the difference there between those two things is whether or not you're motivated regardless of the interest that you pay, okay? Another con is that your payment will actually be lower after you transfer the balance. Now, that's kind of a pro as well, but the reason it's a con, you pay less interest, which means your payment is lower because the credit card company doesn't need quite as much money from you every single month, okay? So if you were to actually lower your payment every month to the required amount that they're expecting you to pay at a minimum, it might take you longer to get out of debt. So one way that I suggest people overcome this is that you don't actually change your payment amount even after they've said pay less. So if you were to transfer it to a 0%, let's say your minimum payment every month right now is $150, and you transfer it to a 0% card and now your minimum payment is $60 a month. Still pay the $150 to that card, even though they're not expecting it from you. And of course, this is if you have the cash flow to do so. You will end up having more going to principal every month. And if you were making that payment before, we want you to stay on that same schedule, okay? One pro is that by doing this, it can really speed up how fast you get out of debt if you do it right. You're paying less interest, and if you keep those payments the same, then the idea is that you're actually going to get out of debt faster. And for some people, if you look at your debt payoff schedule and you're like, man, we're going to be doing this for a long time, we're on a long road here, that can be so demotivating. It can be stifling, right? It can be really frustrating. And by seeing like, oh my God, we're going to be able to get out of debt 4 months faster now because of this, it's that little bit of boost that can actually help your motivation. My recommendation is that you think about all of these pros and cons. What we recommend clients do is to put fail-safes in place and write out some very specific commitments before they use a strategy like this. For example, write out that you will continue to pay on schedule for the exact same amount every single month, regardless of whether you're paying it in interest or not. Okay, so that's one way. Another fail-safe is to say, we will stay on track, all extra money, we'll keep our motivation in place. You really put those red flags, you become aware of them, you write them out, and you talk about them ahead of time. What is something that will be a red flag to us? And if we see that happening, we know we need to regroup, take a step back, and step up our motivation again. Typically, when we talk about a 0% balance transfer with somebody, it's only after a couple of months and we have seen them, sort of demonstrate that they don't need credit cards anymore. They're not adding to the credit card balance. They're doing everything else right. In other words, they've gotten really organized. We've got some great systems in place. They're working the budget in every other way. And this is just one tool or strategy that we can use to really take it up a notch and to speed up the process of getting out of debt even faster. In other words, you need to earn this as a strategy. You need to prove that this is not your go-to strategy. This is simply one of the strategies you can use in conjunction with a bunch of other strategies in order to get out of debt faster. I will tell you that as you're thinking through the pros and cons, if you come to the realization that doing a 0% balance transfer is not the right option for you, maybe you're nervous that you will lose motivation. Maybe the interest you're paying is a big motivator for you, and you think, you doubt whether or not you will really stick to it if you transfer the balances. You can choose not to do this, and that is absolutely okay. Oftentimes when it comes to money, there is not a right and a wrong choice or way of doing things. There is simply a right or a wrong way for each of us. And my job is to make you feel really confident with all of your options so that you know which one is right for you. If you choose to do this, like I said, write out your commitment, write out the schedule, make sure you've got all of these other skills in place first before you make the commitment to do it. Okay? If you need any help thinking about whether this is a good strategy for you, I highly recommend you take advantage of a Eureka session. During that session, what we do is we comb through all of your finances with you. We set very clear milestones, like this debt should be paid off by this month, this one by this month. We talk about the pros and cons specifically for you in your numbers, your situation, so that you can talk through it with us and we can make sure that you feel really confident in whatever you choose. Either way, we are here to help you with this decision. I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Have you done one before and did it work for you? Have you tried it before and maybe it didn't work? Maybe you fell for one of these hurdles that pop up when you do a 0% balance transfer. And then just let me know overall if you agree that there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to money. And so we should probably stop saying that there is for all of us. I look forward to talking with you guys soon. Let me know what you think.